Happy holidays everyone, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I challenged myself to make a Christmas dinner with a limited budget. I'm trying to get as close to $10 as possible. I believe Christmas dinner can be inexpensive and delicious, so let's get started. And we're off to my favorite place to save money, Aldi. The first thing I notice when I come through the door is a big bin of potatoes, 10-pound bags of potatoes for 99 cents. That is a steal, and I'm definitely going to pick up a bag. I wanted to have some kind of inexpensive appetizer add-on for you guys if you wanted to do that. And when I saw these cheese balls at Aldi, I realized they were a great option. They're $2.49 for the cheese balls. You can't make them for that price. You could pick up the crackers at the Dollar Tree for $1. So for $3.49, you can have an add-on for this cheese and cracker tray. I did see lots of great value options at Aldi for the meat entree, so I was browsing and looking at all the different kinds of things. I did have about $3 in my budget for my meat, and I thought if I found something that I liked for more, I would just go ahead and nix the dessert. But I did have an idea in my mind that I wanted to recreate. When I was young, I used to work at a restaurant and they used to serve these open-faced turkey sandwiches, and I wanted to do kind of a spin-off on that idea and have some bread underneath, some nice chewy fresh bread underneath some thin sliced turkey, and then drizzle some gravy over the top of that. And I had that in my mind, and that was what I wanted to make. So, but again, there were lots of great options here. I came across these green beans in a peppery garlic sauce at Aldi, and they were a little bit over my budget at $1.99, but my family does love this kind of thing, so I'm going to try to squeeze it in the budget. I am going to be making Mexican wedding cookies for dessert, and that's because they only require a few ingredients, many of which everyone usually is already going to have in their pantry anyway. It requires flour, sugar, butter, vanilla, some nuts, and some powdered sugar. So most people will only need to buy nuts and powdered sugar, and that's what I'm going to be doing here. We're now at Walmart, and I'm going to grab their Great Value Turkey Gravy Mix for 40 cents, and I'm going to pick up 2 just to be safe. I really had my heart set on cornbread stuffing, but I couldn't find any anywhere, so I'm going to go ahead and do the Great Value chicken stuffing at 78 cents a box. If you watch my channel, you know I love this French bread from Walmart for $1. I'll be picking up 1 loaf today. And here are all of our items that we got for our Christmas dinner. They did come in right at $11.49, and I'm going to do something a little bit different with this video. I'm going to put a price list and item list in the description so that you can refer to that if you want to reference it for any reason. And I did end up using 2 of the gravy mixes. You only see 1 in the picture, but that is included in the price. So I decided I wanted to make Mexican wedding cookies. First of all, because, well, I love them. And second of all, because I had purchased these little paper cups at the Dollar Tree, and I wanted to fill them and serve these in single serving size. So I was really excited about this, and the fact that it barely required any ingredients was perfect. That being said, the bad news is I did have to make these twice. The first time I made them, they were way too big and they did not fit in those cups. So then I had to make them twice, and I ended up using a little melon baller and then cutting it actually in half from the little melon baller, and then those little balls were finally small enough to go in those little cups. So, and by then I was running out of vanilla. So, long story short, it was a long time in the making, but they did turn out very nice. They were delicious and they looked really incredible. I didn't film the mixing of the flour and the sugar and the butter, but I will link the recipe for you in the description. It's very easy to make. And I will say for this final batch, I did cut the recipe in half, so I actually only used 1 cup of flour. And another interesting point about these Mexican wedding cookies, they're actually also called Italian wedding cookies, Russian tea cakes, Greek wedding cookies, butterballs, pecan Susans. So they actually have a lot of different names, but they're really delicious. One other tip I want to say, if you do decide to make these, is you're going to want to chill the dough before you make it into the round balls. It's going to be a lot easier to handle. And in fact, I had to let mine chill for quite some time. And then when you bake it, you're not going to want to over bake it. Just bake them for about 12 minutes and they're done. I still can't believe I got this 10-pound bag of potatoes for 99 cents. I'm really looking forward to having homemade mashed potatoes for this dinner. There's just nothing that compares to the taste of a real potato. It is nice to have those little mixes, instant potatoes for when you're in a hurry, but honestly, on a taste test, there's just nothing like homemade mashed potatoes. And at this value, you just can't go wrong. I mean, I'm only going to use maybe 3 or 4 potatoes for the mashed potatoes, and then I'll have the entire bag left over for the coming, probably last me a couple weeks. And since I'm cooking potatoes, I'm going to add a generous amount of salt to the water. It just seems to make such a difference when you salt the water as opposed to trying to make up for it and adding more salt after they're finished. By cooking it in the salt, it seems to permeate the entire potato. Now we're going to make the stuffing. Here we're just going to add 1.5 cups water and 1/4 cup of margarine or butter. And then we'll bring that to a boil, and then we'll simply just add in the stuffing mix. We'll cover this and let it set for a little bit. Normally, there are a few things I like to add to my dressing. I like to saute onions and celery, and then I'll add those in there. And I also like to add in some jalapeno juice. And usually I'll do this with the water. However, at this point I forgot, so I'm going to go ahead and just add it in and stir it up, and it should be fine. And then what we're going to do is we're going to end up baking this. But the only reason that we're baking it is just to get to the right consistency that we want. If we were to eat the stuffing at this stage, it would be very moist and almost gummy. So that's why I like to go ahead and bake it. And I enjoy my stuffing a little bit on the drier side on the top. But then once you dig into it, it is still moist. It's plenty moist. But I just think that this makes it just the perfect consistency. Okay, my plastic whisk is a little bit bent up and distorted, but I love this whisk because I use it with all of these saucepans. This gravy was so easy to make and it was delicious. I can't believe I've been overpaying for gravy all this time. Do yourself a favor though and make 2 packets because I did have to go back and make another packet. Some of you may recognize this tablecloth from my other video. I originally took a pass on this at the Dollar Tree because I thought the pattern was just way too busy, but this time I went back and I decided I've got to give it a try. You can see by looking at it here, it does actually have a little bit of a sheen to it, and I couldn't believe how thick it was for the Dollar Tree. It was very thick, and it did have a flannel backing behind it. The pattern is so busy, it's something I would normally run from, but in this case, for some reason, it's drawing me in, so I'm going to try to make it work, and we'll see if I end up regretting this or not. I like to use items that I already have when I'm doing my tablescapes, and in this case, I did already have this garland that I purchased at the Dollar Tree for $1. I'm just going to remove the little snowman from it, and then I had these reindeers in my Christmas box, so I'm going to be using those as well. I used a white Dollar Tree tablecloth that I had, and I folded it up and I used it as a makeshift table runner, and I thought that helped to break up the pattern a little bit. I picked up the chargers at Dollar Tree as well, and yes, I do have the audacity to put a square plate on a round charger. Okay, so this is all of the ribbons that I thought would work. This is actually such a small piece, but it might be good for something. I actually think I'm leaning towards this one, but I also really like this one. But I think just because of the color of the tablecloth, I think this one will work better. And I had these little stiff edging ribbon for my scrapbooking, which because it's so stiff, it would have been perfect to hold the napkin, but it's a cream color, it's off-white, so I don't think that's gonna look very good at all. I'm definitely leaning towards this one, so we'll see what we can do. I did already do this. Basically, I used my glue gun, just a regular little glue gun, and I cut it out, and then I put the glue there and put it together. I have these little ornaments for I'm gonna do a mini tree this year, and I was thinking actually they would be really cute if I glue gun those on top of there, although I don't know if I think I want to leave the solid green, but we might try that as well. So I'm just gonna play around. And here's me playing around with the table, trying to decide what I wanted to do, which napkins I liked best. Did I want the white plates? Did I want the red plates? Did I want the white napkins? Did I want the red napkins? I will say I love these green bows. Actually, I'm almost wondering now why I didn't use those, but I don't know. What do you think? I just had fun with all of them, so this is probably my favorite part. I thought the little Christmas cookies would look better if I served them elevated, and so I had this container that I was using for my spatulas, and I decided to turn that upside down and place the cookies on top. And I thought I could go ahead and wrap that in Christmas paper and make that look a little bit better and fit the decor. And I also had a little accessories kit that I had purchased at the Dollar Tree that I'm going to use to help decorate. And here is the finished product. I will say I did have a heck of a time with this cranberry sauce for this dinner. I don't know if it's the brand or not, but it was definitely releasing a lot of liquid, and it wasn't holding into the balls as nicely as the other brand did for one of my last dinners. And I think from here on out, I'm definitely going to be using the cookie cutter route. Would have been great if I would have had some little Christmas trees or something like that. That would have been a really nice item. We really enjoyed these spicy garlic green beans. They had a tasty flavor. This sharp cheddar cheese ball was delicious. I'll definitely be buying this again. Make sure you get it out and leave it at room temperature for a good long time before you're going to serve it. I didn't have enough money in the budget for anything to drink. However, I will be using my bottles, and you may have seen those in the last video as well. I purchased those at the Hobby Lobby a few years ago, and I think I spent like maybe a couple bucks on them. I got them on sale, and they just really elevate the look of the table and the tablescape, but I love using those for a variety of drinks. I spent just over $11 on this meal and then another $3.49 for the appetizer. So you're looking at right around $15 for this. And I will say though, I am going to have a lot of leftovers. I've got a lot of potatoes left over. I've got a lot of turkey left over. So I think this was a really great value. I do wish I would have filmed layering the turkey slices on top of the bread and then putting the gravy on top. Here you see a picture, a very peppery picture. This was actually my son's plate that he had loaded up, and we enjoyed this dinner. It was really very hearty, and I think I might have liked it even better than the dinner I made for 20 bucks. So there's something about having those homemade mashed potatoes that just really resonated with me. And I like the take on the green beans as well. So I do hope you enjoyed this video. Happy holidays to all of you. And if you like my videos, please do give us a thumbs up and subscribe. I would love to have you here.